Here at the Stafford Motor Speedway, another edition of our table talk here in the pits with the driver of Street Stock number 8, Frank.
Latoile.
Or is it Latoile?
Depends on if I'm racing or playing hockey.
Or Latoile?
Probably not Latoile.
It's been a debate. Oh, one announcer said it earlier this year, but not here at Stafford. But it's been a debate with the announcers here at Stafford of which it is. So now I figured the perfect time to I think Matt Dildner even got in on the conversation one night on Twitter. Is it Latoile? Is it Latoile? Is it a couple of other options out there? So what is it? And what would you like to be called?
We'll go with Frank Latoile Jr. because that's how my grandfather pronounces it. So he's the boss. So Latoile.
Frank Latoile it is. Joining us here at the picnic table at the Stafford Motor Speedway. Before we talk about your current season, the point battle that you're in, the great year that you've had, let's talk about what got you started in motorsports years ago. What got you interested in turning left?
It's a family thing, as always, with a lot of us here. Mm-hmm. I think I was at Riverside when I was like 2 weeks old, so it's like all I ever wanted to do. My he was racing late models at the time. He's my hero. My grandfather was racing, so just want to follow in the footsteps and found it was a lot of fun.
And at what point, learning the sport, did you say, okay, I want to not only just go to the races and watch, but I want to do it?
Probably very young, probably like 12 or something when I tried to convince
Which is for the older these days. I mean, you come
true.
here on Monday nights and there's a bunch of 5 and 6 year olds out there in go-karts.
Yep. Yeah, so I think I was like 14, 15, we got our first go-kart. Started running, and when they first started Wild Thing carts here, we had an open cart without a roll cage. Ran that for a season. My mom didn't like it too much, so we got a senior outlaw and ran that for probably like 7-8 years.
I hear the open carts are hairy no matter where they go. I can't imagine them here at Stafford on the bigger track for them anyway, which is the mini mile here. Any close moments or anything for you, or?
In one of those?
Yeah, one of those.
Yeah, somebody bounced off the tire wall, came flying out, and I got a picture of the whole cart just doing a wheelie. So I think that was the moment where she said,
I was going to say, that'll get the family's attention.
Yeah, so they're really cool, though. You feel the draft down the straightaways for sure without the cage and everything, but no, that was a lot of fun.
How much success were you able to find on Monday nights and in the karting world before you moved up to the half mile?
Open carts, not that much. I think we had a couple podiums, and then we got the Outlaw. We won a couple championships, tons of races. And back then you had a ton of these guys, mod guys at this point. Just like, if you look at the old lineups, it was crazy. So just experience from all those guys. But we had a lot of success in that.
It amazes me, and I don't know if it, for you and one of the drivers that came from the Monday nights, you walk through the pits here on Friday nights, you watch the races, and it's like half or 3/4 of the field started here on Monday nights. I mean, how important is that program to this racetrack and really this region for that type of racing?
I think it's incredible. You get people traveling from all over, and those Wild Thing carts run up north too, so you can get these carts and run them all over. But like you just said, if you look through the pits, so many of these guys and girls have started there, and it's valuable experience just being close to each other, and just it helps when you get into a real car.
All right, take me through the transition now of Monday night Wild Thing carts on the mini mile to showing up here and going racing on the half mile.
My dad got a car that we ripped apart. It was just an old Monte Carlo, got it down to the frame. It took like 3 years to build the thing. And then just a lot of help from a lot of different people, and just got out here for a fall final in 2012, I think it was. Started, finished, didn't crash, and then that's a good start.
Yeah.
And then we went full time for a few years.
And it didn't take long to find success. First championship was 2 years later, your second full season?
Yep, and then another the year after.
A year later, 2 in a row.
It helps being surrounded by great people. My dad and Gil and Billy and Roger and just Mike and Auntie Sully, just a lot of experience at the races that could teach me how to do this the right way and just be successful.
Takes people, takes talent as well. What were some of the challenges maybe in adapting to a street stock for the that first full season?
Just full suspension, like just going back around, just feeling like you're on a boat, because those things are, they're essentially boats. You got old Monte Carlos with these big suspensions, and it's just, that was probably the biggest difference. And then just learning the track, learning the competition, and just taking it back to everything I learned in go-karts, and just don't make any enemies, keep the car in one piece, and you can come back next week, and that was the biggest thing.
Before we talk about this season, because it's been incredible to watch week in and week out. You also have a hockey background, is that right?
Yeah,
Walk
I've been
us
playing
through,
that since.
Walk us through that.
I think I started playing hockey when I was like 4 or 5, and just all the way through high school. I think I stopped for like a year, and then I grabbed the bag again, and I really haven't stopped. So it's the only real active thing I do. So if I didn't do that, I would not be in shape.
This is
at all.
active, isn't it?
Yeah. Oh, you definitely burn calories, but yeah, cardio-wise, that's the key.
Did you ever want to do that pro?
Oh man, I'm way too small and not good enough.
Years ago.
Years ago, yeah.
Was it when you first started in playing the game? Was there ever that thought of, hey, I want to maybe do this long term?
Yeah, of course. You watch guys like Steve Yzerman and Peter Forsberg and all those guys. Mike Modano.
Yeah.
I can list names and names. My dad grew up playing hockey, so he got me into the Bruins, Ray Bourque, and all those guys. So, yeah, of course, as a kid, you dream to hold the Stanley Cup, but then you realize it's not very logical.
But you've held the championship trophy here at Stafford twice, and you're in the running for a third time here in 2021. Bonza Tufa recently produced a video of all the wild, great moments that we've had in the street stock division this year. I think you're in about 95% of them. Usually a last lap pass or getting past. I mean, incredible racing. We'll get to the details in a moment, but is it just in general, has this year been fun racing Chris and Travis and the rest of the guys out there?
Yeah, I've had a lot of fun this year. Like I said, it's one of the biggest things is the people, and we have the whole gang back, the whole team back, and it's just fun just showing up with people you love every day, every Friday. And then the competition, it's good. I got a guy. Yeah, Chris is a great competitor. I've run against him for a number of years, and it's as tough as it's going to get. And Travis, he's on the rise. Nick's on the rise.
Yep.
You got a lot of good drivers here, and once you get into the top 5 there, and you start sorting things out, it's a lot of fun out there.
Pretty good championship battle right now between you and Chris. We've been following it all year. Changed again last week when he had issues. Is that something you look at as a driver that's won championships before? Do you look at the points and analyze all that stuff, or do you just go out there week to week and let us tell you, what the numbers look like?
No, it's both. I was looking at the points before the season even started, if that makes sense, just kind of getting an idea of what you have to do. And each week is kind of different in a way when you're running for points and you know what's going on. But at the end of the day, once that green flag drops, you just kind of run your race and see how it winds up.
You said at the beginning of the year you really want to tie that record, that 3 championship record that Norm Sears has right now. How special would it be to tie it if you can here in a couple of weeks' time?
That'd be really cool. I mean, that's what we all play for.
Yeah.
Play, race, whatever you want to say. I don't know. It'd be cool, but at the same time, I want to pass them. So you got to tie them to be able to pass them, and who knows what we're doing next year. So I'd like to catch Kyle Casagrande for that all-time win list, but that man's a legend.
Absolutely, absolutely. How much of these next 4 weeks is racing the field versus racing that green 87?
Just race the field every night and see where it winds up, and at the end, if we're next to each other, which seems to happen more than it doesn't, then just, I don't know, just do what we've been doing. Nobody wants to wind up in the wall. Just keep running hard like we have been and put on a show for everybody here.
You mentioned next year, plans unsure. Where would you like to go? Not to put you on the spot or anything, but
Daytona?
Sure.
Yeah, of course. I don't know. I just want to be here every single week with the people that I'm surrounded by. I don't care what it's in. It could be a street stock. It could be any of the divisions here. It's all competitive. It's a great place to race. So I just want to be here every single week. That's what I want.
Well, best to you these next couple of weeks and challenging for that 3rd championship here in the street stock division. Frank Latwell Jr. here at our table talk session here in the pits.
Thank you.